This is the story of former New Jersey hitman Richard the Iceman KUKLINSKI, born on April 11, 1935 in Jersey City, New Jersey. Richard is widely known as a notorious hitman who operated between the 1970s and 1980s in New Jersey. And according to authorities, Richard is one of the most prolific hitmen in American history who was given the name the Iceman because during their investigation into Richard's crimes, it was once discovered he kept one of his victims in a freezer for over a period of time, so authorities couldn't determine the victim's time of death once the victim was found. And because of Richard's criminal career and tactics, Hollywood decided to make a movie about his life called The Iceman, which went on to earn $4.6 million in the box office. But as for the story of Richard the Iceman KUKLINSKI, it starts off in Jersey City, New Jersey, where he was born and raised. According to reports, Richard was born on April 11, 1935 in Jersey City, New Jersey, to parents Stanley KUKLINSKI and Anna McNally, where the couple raised Richard and his three siblings on 4th Street in Jersey City. According to Richard, he describes his father as a violent alcoholic who often beat him, his siblings, and his mother on a daily basis after a long day of work, where he worked as a brakeman on the Delaware, Lackawanna, and Western Railroad. Richard once said in 1940, his dad was responsible for the death of his older brother Florian, who was only 7 years old at the time of his death. Richard claims his dad wasn't convicted of the death of his brother Florian because his parents were able to hide the true cause of his brother's death by telling police his brother Florian fell down a flight of stairs. And according to Richard, as for his mother Anna, he describes her as a devoted Catholic who, just like his father, often became abusive to him and his siblings during their time growing up. Richard once claimed his mother was so abusive, she would beat him with broom handles so bad that the broom handle would break on his body during his mother's violent assaults on him and his siblings. Richard once stated that because of his mother's religious beliefs, he later rejected the Catholic religion and labeled his mother as a cancer who destroyed everything she touched. According to reports, in the mid-1960s, Richard's criminal career would begin when he started working for a Manhattan-based film lab where he was able to access master copies of Disney animated and pornographic films in which he stole so he could bootleg them to resell on the street for a profit. According to authorities, they believe through Richard's illegal bootleg movie business, he was able to meet most of his murder victims, in which he was able to lure them to fake business meetings with him, where he would eventually rob them for their cash before killing them and getting rid of their bodies. According to reports, on January 30th, 1980, Richard would claim the life of his first known victim, who was a 42-year-old man named George Mollyban. It is said during this meeting, George was meeting Richard to buy some bootleg tapes for $27,000. But it is said instead of getting the tapes as planned, George was killed by Richard, in which his body was later discovered on February 5th, 1980, inside of a 55-gallon drum near a chemical plant in Jersey City. Authorities claimed during their discovery of George's body, they noticed his tendons were cut in his legs, which led to them believing Richard did this so he could fit George's body in the 55-gallon drum. According to reports, on April 29, 1982, Richard would claim the life of his second known victim, a 51-year-old pharmacist named Paul Hoffman, who occasionally came to Richard's store in Paterson, New Jersey. It is said before Paul's murder, he met Richard while he was shopping in Richard's store, hoping to score a popular drug named Tagament so he could resell the drug in his pharmacy for a big profit. It is said Paul believed Richard was the person who could supply him the drug that he was looking for, and because of this, the two men decided to schedule a business meeting so the transaction could be completed. According to Richard, he told investigators he was able to lure Paul into a rented garage where he first tried to shoot Paul to death before realizing his gun was jammed, and because of this, he proceeded to beat Paul to death with a tire iron before taking his $25,000 and putting his body in another 55-gallon drum, in which he left outside of a hotel in Little Ferry, New Jersey. This is part 1 of the Richard Iceman KUKLINSKI story. Part 2 coming soon.